Every night, Ukraine launches drones or attacks missiles to hit a very sensitive Russian infrastructure, like it happened, for example, today. It's been reported that Russia lost one more S-400 air defense system. Their defense of Crimea really suffers a lot. Yet we don't have the photos from the place because of the censorship in Crimea, but nevertheless we have the confirmation from the Russian side too. For now we have just the image of the Russian air defense system operation in Crimea, and definitely there is the aerial kaboom, so maybe partially it was successful, the Russian air defense. You may see that they fire lots of the missiles, but after all the ground kabooms also were reported, and yes, there is the report that the Russian air defense system was lost. Hello my friends and welcome, my name is Dennis and this is the latest update from Ukraine. Let's go. About the Kerch bridge, well, Russia put lots of the defense constructions and new barges to protect it. I just wonder about this stuff. What is this? Some sort of the cranes with huge metal construction, maybe to attract missiles? Well, Russia does everything to protect the bridge. I think that they understand that soon Ukraine will strike it. Yeah, if we zoom in, it's just a big crane with a dock. The Russian channels also complain about the surveillance of the American drones, which are constantly flying over the neutral waters in the Black Sea, but they're able to gather all of the information about the Russian bases, Russian air defense in Crimea, and also on the Russian coast. For example, Krasnodarsky Krai, Sochi, and so on. The American drones like RQ-4B Global Hawk are able to stay in the air for more than 24 hours. They usually operate from the military base of Sicily. Without this very important surveillance, the strikes on the Russian military infrastructure would be absolutely impossible. Also today, Ukrainian UAVs were spotted in Dagestan, Russia, Caucasus. Probably they were flying to the Russian oil refinery, which is located in the place. We have numerous of the videos filmed by the eyewitnesses, and definitely it is the Ukrainian drone flying somewhere, but what it hit so far, we don't have the information about it. A legendary Russian Panzer I-S was hit in occupied Luhansk region. The vehicle was totally dismembered, and what is left is just the part of the KAMAZ construction. This is how this vehicle looks. It is the short-range air defense system, but it is kind of capable. But I think it was a wrong decision to use the KAMAZ strike for this very heavy system. Because of the high center of gravity and kind of the big chassis, this system tends to roll over in a turn even at a low speed. It's not the first time happening. There were numerous of the cases. So yeah, the system is kind of effective, but the transportation of it requires some skills. My friends, if you want to support my daily job that I do here on YouTube, you may also join my Patreon page. It is available with my personal link in the video description just below. Thank you so much for your awesome support. Russia has started to send those kind of the vehicles to the front lines. This is the advanced electronic jammer, so electronic warfare system, able to jam the signal for Ukrainian drones and other systems, eliminating Ukrainian drone operations in some specific spot. The vehicle name is Borysaglebsk 2. What happened to Borysaglebsk 1? Alright, anyways, the destiny is known. Borysaglebsk 2 also was kaputted. So definitely we have the vehicle itself and the big antenna which was put on the top. It means that the vehicle was working, the system was working, and it was targeted by the drones. The drones that this system should jam. Yep, the FPV drones were used to hit it. It tells a lot about the Russian drone jammers. But not just the FPV drones are in action to hit the Russian, for example, air defense systems. Buk M2, it is a very capable system. For this particular strike, Ukraine used the American-made Switchblade 600, so the bigger modification of this guided shell. Russians already put the system on the track, and here goes the Switchblade. It is right on time to hit the Buk M2. And definitely it was kind of the big kaboom. For sure the system is disabled, maybe even together with a truck. Yep, Buk M2 and the truck platform are severely damaged. Also, Russia lost one more Sukhoi-25 attack airplane. Usually there is a pair of the airplanes flying, like you might spot on this video. Yes, the quality is not that great, but our guys launched the missile, the air defense missile, from the portable manpad. The missile flown to the target and hit it. Well, there is the cloud over there. Hopefully you can see it. So the airplane was definitely hit hit by the portable manpad, and Ukraine start to obtain more of those manpads to be actively used right on the front lines. That's why the Russian attack airplanes suffer a lot. Estonia also joins the effort to help Ukraine to fight against the Russian attack airplanes and helicopters. They'll send more of the manpads to Ukraine. We are speaking about Mistral manpads. It was reported by the Estonian Defense Ministry. We may check it on their website. It's in Estonian, but we may translate it to English, and definitely there is the confirmation about Mistral type short-range anti-aircraft missile system. I guess that the Russian Sukhoi 25 pilots should be scared about those news. At the same time, Russia strikes the Ukrainian infrastructure with one more aerial attack. They use cruise missiles, hypersonic ballistic missiles, and Shahed drones. Most of the drones and missiles were intercepted, but some made it to their targets. For example, there is a fire reported in Dnipro city. Also, unfortunately, Russia was able to target Ukrainian Sukhoi 25 attack airplane using the Lancet drone. Well, at least the Ukrainian pilot wasn't in the airplane by the time of the strike. It means that Ukraine needs more of the air defense systems, and we have some of the good news about it. The White House administration agreed to supply one more Patriot system to Ukraine, with many of the missiles for it. Also, we already know that Ukraine will obtain one more Patriot system from Germany and 68 missiles for it. The same talks continue with Romania, so Ukrainian officials say that in a nearby future, Ukraine should obtain at least 2 of the Patriot systems, or maybe even 4. Alright, and now let's go to the Frontlines review. This is just a rotating MTLB system. Probably one of the Caterpillar was lost because of the strike. And now it's going round and round. Right, according to the latest report from the Institute for the Study of War, Ukraine was capable to return some of the positions in the Kharkiv Oblast, which were previously taken by the Russian occupiers. It is also happening in Liptsi village, so not just Vovchan city is successful for Ukraine, but here Ukrainian army also started the counterattack. Again, it means that Russia doesn't have enough forces to send for the successful mission in Kharkiv Oblast. From the very beginning, it was a failure operation for the Russian army. From what I know, based on the information coming from Russia, they continue to send their prisoners to fight against Ukraine in Kharkiv Oblast especially, and they even start to hire women prisoners. Even the Western media sources like, for example, the New York Times writes the article about it. And the Russian opposition source Media Zone, based on the open information, said that just in the Wagner army there were huge losses among the prisoners. For the single Bakhmut battle, they lost 19,600 soldiers, the ex-Russian prisoners, and by that time Prigozhin himself confirmed that Wagner army lost around 20,000 soldiers for a single Bakhmut battle, but he mentioned that it happened because they hadn't had enough weaponry. Just to recall, Shoigu, Gerasimov, where is ammunition, but maybe it was done on purpose. I think it's like that, because Russia doesn't really need those people around, I mean prisoners. So they just might send those to die in Ukraine in their stupid mid-wave straightforward attacks, and now it's time for the Russian women prisoners to join this grinder. Just imagine the losses and the outcome of the Bakhmut battle for the Russian prisoners. Every 20th Russian prisoner, yes, in all Russia, lost his life in that operation. Every 20th. And more to come. The Russian, let's say, warriors complain that in Kharkiv direction they're absolutely out of water, food, and any sort of the supplies. They're definitely struggling. They were sent to die in this war. Most of those are the ex-Russian prisoners. Well, no surprise here, it's the usual stuff for the Russian army. About the Russian and Ukrainian vehicle losses for the first 10 days of June. Russia lost 572 of the vehicles, Ukraine 191. If we speak about tanks, Russia lost 111 tanks, Ukraine 20, so 5 times less at least. The good thing in these statistics that the losses for Ukrainian artillery dropped dramatically. The last months Ukraine lost more artillery systems compared to Russia, because Russians used their territory to launch Lancet drones to target Ukrainian artillery or rocket artillery systems. But now Ukraine is able to strike Russian bases with a Western-made weaponry with HIMARS and other tools. So Russia is not safe on their territory any longer. They're unable to launch Landsats with the same pace as they did the last month. That is why Ukraine loses much less artillery systems compared to the last months. So for the same period of time, Ukraine lost more than 2 times less artillery systems compared to Russia. The ratio is actually 1 to 3, which is good. Also, the loss of the Sukhoi 57 confirmed, as well as for Ukrainian Sukhoi 25, which I already showed you. Russia targeted Ukrainian attack airplane right on the airfield. Checking all of those losses, we might say that the fight is still very strong. Heavy war continues. Alright, what does the deep state military map shows us for the recent update of the military map? It was yesterday, let's zoom in, yesterday, and it is today. So Russia moved a little to Novopokrovsk and to Sokol village. The Ukrainian group in this place, in those fields, is under the great threat of being encircled. I already told you about it a couple of days or maybe 3 days ago that Ukraine should consider this direction as the possible trap and move the forces at least to Novoselivka-Percha. We see that Russians will try to attack this village from 2 of the sides, so for sure Ukraine should withdraw the forces, and here luckily there are some of the roads to do it fast. If we check out the timeline, you may see the advancement of the Russian army for the recent 10 days, and yes, they are taking the ground, unfortunately for now. So maybe all this Kharkiv operation was made to deflect the attention of the Ukrainian army from the east, and definitely Ukraine took some of the reinforcements, maybe also from the east, and that is why Russia is capable to take some ground. However, they're not advancing very fast, as it was done, for example, in Ocheretine. The Russian army continued to scroll with heavy losses. The biggest threat for Ukraine in this area is that it might lose the connection through this very important road, because clearly Russia has the goal to advance and cut the supplies. About the Pokrovsk city, well, it's still far away from the front lines, 27 kilometers. Well, we'll see how it goes in the nearby future, but I predict that the next month Ukraine will be able to stop the Russian advancement. The ex-Russian President Medvedev published this interesting map. He shows Russia and also the part of Ukraine within the Russian territory. Yeah, hopefully you may see it over here. It shows again that the goal for the Russian officials is to occupy all of the Ukraine, if possible. At least they're heading to reach this goal. Some of the partisans put the local air defense system radar on fire in the Moscow region. Kind of interesting, sometimes it happens. To some of the international news, Malawi's vice president dies in a plane crash which occurred in the mountainous terrain. A very similar case with Reis's recent accident when the helicopter crashed into Iranian mountains. Here we have the same weather conditions, fog, and the same high terrain. In aviation we call it sea-feed, so the controlled flight into terrain. Then the airplane is totally airworthy, but because of the pilot mistake the plane goes into terrain. This could be avoided by maintaining the safe altitude in this particular sector. Also, the enhanced ground proximity warning system helps a lot because it has all of the terrain in its database. So pilots obtain the warning if they are close to terrain. I wonder if this airplane, it looks like the small one, was equipped with that system. The Taiwan military started to mine the borders around the island, so maybe they do expect some of the escalation from the Chinese side. The United States military also established a new strategy over Taiwan. They call it Hellscape, that would be used in case of the Chinese invasion of Taiwan. The United States say that they will deploy thousands of unmanned submarines and surface ships, as well as one-way attack drones or kamikaze drones, alongside several classified capabilities. All of that would strike a Chinese invasion fleet as soon as they began to cross 100 miles straight towards Taiwan. Hopefully it will give Taiwanese and allied militaries, including United States, to mount a total defense of the island. Some of the story around Hunter Biden, the son of Joe Biden, who is the current United States president. Well, Hunter Biden was found guilty on all of the 3 charges in federal gun case. Well, what happened from what I understood, he bought the gun, not saying that he was a drug addicted. Basically, it's the standard form that you should write and sign stating that you are not drug addicted, and he obviously lied stating that he wasn't. So what's the maximum term that he might face? Well, potentially 24 years in prison, but experts say that he might hardly face any kind of the prison penalty. It could be a probation period or a fine. So very similar to the Trump's case, yeah? Well, at least experts say that there should be no any prison charge as well. The reaction for the news is kind of interesting, especially from the red camp. Here they say that everything is fine and the rule of law was followed. Hunter Biden found guilty and he should be imprisoned. With Trump's case, they spread all of the conspiracy theories possible. But here for them, everything is fine, Hunter Biden is guilty. Kind of a strange reaction, isn't it? Double standards, we call it. Well, about the Hunter Biden himself, he's kind of the strange guy indeed. I think this is what might happen if you don't have the real goal in your life, like for example to build a good politician career as your father. So this guy decided to flow with the flow and let's say enjoy his life with the drugs and bad habits. Sometimes it might happen with the kids in rich families, they don't see the goal in their life. Everything they want they always get with no efforts. I think that it happened over here as well. Yeah, we know that Hunter has some of the companies, but sometimes his business is very suspicious. Back in 2018, his tax affairs were under the criminal investigation. And also there was a famous Burisma company case connected with Ukraine. Kind of the interesting individual. So Joe Biden already commented on the case saying that he will accept the decision of the court, at the same time saying that Hunter has the right to appeal. My friends, and now please don't forget to press your huge like to this video. By doing so you help me a lot. And as usual, I wish you all a peaceful sky wherever you are and have a great time.